Hi there, welcome to this video. This is part 2 of the cable joining kit for an SWA cable. Here is the joining kit which was prepared in part 1 of the video before. I am using electrical insulation tape and any color will do. Now we reinforce the container by making sure that nothing will leak out when we pour the resin. I will tape up the container as much as I can. We want to make sure that we don't waste the joining kit by compromising or maybe hoping that nothing would run out, therefore the ends must be taped up. There'll always be a millimeter of play at the end, whether it is a tight fit or not. It's better to tape it up. Again, good practice. Now I'm just doing a crisscross taping and making sure that nothing escapes out of the corners. Use as much tape as you have to. You've got nothing to lose. We can see here that this is genuine electrical tape. It's almost got the same elasticity as the special tape that's in the container. Cheaper tape would not be able to be used like this. Once you pull just a little bit, it'll obviously just break. I'll do the same on the other side of the container. The resin are usually measured quantities, therefore we must ensure very little or no wastage. Wastage can also occur when overfilling the container, and this is a very delicate operation. Simple and easy, but delicate. You have to just be careful. And again, this is just prepping and making sure that you are gonna not waste any part of this jointing kit. In a real scenario, maybe in the ground where you have cut the cable, you're sitting inside a hole or a pit, you're going to always want this cable joint to be level. In this case it's a task, so it's on a level surface. Now we can refer to the directions or instructions on how to use the resin. The mixing of the resin and hardener differs slightly in different ambient conditions. You mix it longer in winter than in summer because of the ambient temperature. Now we have to remove the separation band or strip. You have to pull very hard for it to separate. This is a very robust plastic design where the outer edges is permanently or 100% sealed and the strip only temporarily sealed. The middle section or strip is now completely torn open. And I'm just actually now working the one side over to the other and vice versa to get a good mixture. Now we mix. I've never ever done a cable joint where the plastic actually burst or broke on the sides. For the purpose of time, this video has been sped up. Approximately about 5 minutes has been sped up. Normally if this packet gets hot before we reach a 5 minute period, then the resin is ready for use. Under colder conditions, 6 minutes plus would be enough time, but then the mixture must be thorough. The heat that is present is in fact a chemical reaction occurring. Take caution that if you have mixed it but not poured it into the container, it will be wasted because it will harden. So you can see I'm really working it, and you can see the robustness of this plastic. So what I've done is I've actually used another surface. I've cut open the box that it came in and put it underneath so that if I accidentally spill some resin, the original surface is not damaged. You have to be very careful not to get this on your hands. It doesn't come off easily and in some cases can cause harm to skin. Here's the final part, pouring the resin. I've made a small cut in the packet because if it is too big you can spill some resin. I'll gently squeeze. It goes quick because there's a lot of resin and you can see the packet is emptying. There's always this concern that there won't be enough in the packet, but again, it's measured doses or quantities. Now I'll just work the rest of the resin at the back towards the front. Even though it looked as if it was empty, there is still enough to fill the container. We're just going to give it some time to work its way through the container because it must go into all the small little areas. And this is why it's key that we pour it in while it's still in fluid form. This can get hard very quickly. In some cases you will have bubbles on the inside, but those bubbles will only be really on the top section of the container. I suppose you can see it only once you remove the tape, but the purpose of this resin is to really get very hard and just be one with the cable. If this is underground or in a watery area, the conductors will be completely sealed. I can from my viewpoint see that there is a bubble, and doing this helps removing it or some of the bubble. I'll allow a little time for the resin to settle in the container and check if the resin is level. I can just add a little bit more resin if it is needed. And judging from the amount of resin left, it was well measured, just enough to fill that whole container. This is really the end of it. About 50 minutes later, we can see the resin has set. I'm not even scared of anything running out because it's already hardened. But I remove the tape to see what it looks like. It's not even necessary to put a lid on because in a lot of cases artisans remove the casing, but I normally leave it as is. You can see that this tape was properly put on, a little bit tough to get it off now, but nothing was spilled. There was no leakage of any resin, and that's really what you want when you pour the resin. Let's see what it looks like. So as the last tape comes off, we will notice there's probably one or two bubbles, but no conductors are exposed. I've also seen artisans leave the tape on because really it doesn't matter if you leave it on or remove it. So there we can see the bubbles, but again, no conductors visible, which means the conductors are submerged in that hardened resin. This cable joint will stand even in the worst conditions underground. I'll also stick the lid on just for the sake of completion, and that brings us to the end of the jointing kit. Thank you. Just check your notifications for the next video or project.